All right, welcome back to another episode with the Unspecialist. This time around, we're going to be doing a reaction video. The video being supplied by Madame Noire, and the ladies are going to be telling us why men need to stop commenting on women's looks. So we're going to get right into the video, break it down, and see if we could get any entertainment or even educational value out of it. So let's go.
Whether it's via social media, catcalling, or in casual conversation, too many men take liberties when it comes to commenting about women's bodies. Men have a hard time understanding this. Unsolicited, crude, or crass commentary just doesn't feel good to the person on the receiving end. That's why our question of the week is more of a statement. Here's why men need to stop commenting on women's looks. Period.
Vibes turn up, boy. Attitude in the place. She looking serious. Anyways, let me see what this trio of women have to say.
Who wants to go first?
So I would like to jump this off if I may. And with this conversation, I think it's important to kind of establish the whole gamut of what this can look like, because what a lot of men don't realize is that, when you're making these comments, they can be a form of sexual harassment. And you get a pushback because people are like, well, I'm not, at your job, like harassing you. Well, no, that's an extreme. And that's one very specific type that people think of. But just like with racial issues, we talk about microaggressions. There are microaggressions that can happen with sexual harassment. So yes,
Microaggressions, boy, microaggressions. So we rule out that extremes are a bit unreasonable to bring up in a general discussion because they happen rarely. So let's add microaggressions, which happen quite commonly and for the most part are innocuous, as the prefix micro would suggest. But hey, that's something that you see common, especially in like feminist literature. But let's see how she continues to describe and hopefully buttresses her argument.
Vert is, someone saying something like super explicit to you, but it can also be something as small as we said in the open, like, oh, you'd look pretty, if you wore your natural hair. I didn't ask you that.
I can already hear all the men saying like, I can't tell those women nothing.
Hey, and those men have a point. I mean, that's the kind of comment that could be ignored and, you just go about your day. Is it annoying? Yeah. It happens to both sexes. I could understand and see how, one could be annoyed by a man making a comment like that. But again, it's a minor comment. He says it, ignore it, move on. But at the same time, fellas, you see how things going. You got to understand the environment and realize, listen, this is not the best time to be saying anything. Don't get them free attention to begin with. So just ignore and move on. But here you see a perfect example of, what they feel or what the reactions are like. So let's see what else she has to say.
But the thing is, there is a huge difference between saying, you look lovely today, and saying like, come here, girl with the big booty, I want to say something. There's just a big difference. And I think we just have to be a little bit discerning about the words we use, especially when we're talking to strangers. Because at the end of the day, you don't know these people.
Right, that's true. If it's strangers, for the most part, you should probably just ignore and pass them by. A normal greeting, hi, good afternoon, good day, that's fine. But in current time, it's just best to ignore strangers, pass them straight. For those that grew up in a more rural or friendly kind of culture or setting, that might make you feel a bit uncomfortable. But hey, it's 2020. People are very specific and sensitive about what's said to them and even said about them. So hey, you just gotta ignore them and let it go. Hold it in as much as it might hurt you. You want to be nice or you think you're being nice. Don't tell them anything. Just keep it pushing.
And some men, they take their, have a lovely day. And when she doesn't respond, you get violent. You get angry. You're like, well, F you, B. And you want to get mad at her. And it's like, okay, that's when it becomes belittling behavior. That's when it becomes harassment. Because at the end of the day, if you're genuinely paying a woman a compliment, her response shouldn't matter.
Exactly.
Because then now you're looking for an ego stroke. And it's like, okay, do you actually care about telling me I'm lovely? Or are you just trying to feel good and get my attention?
Yeah, that's facts. The guys do that a lot. And when they do it, they don't get the response they like. They get salty and they decide to attack the woman. Yeah, that's bullshit. Listen, if she didn't respond to what you say or she didn't respond to your compliment, she didn't like you, she doesn't want to hear from you, she doesn't want to talk to you, you shot your shot and you hit back iron, pick up your ball and go somewhere else, go to another court. You take the L on that game and keep it moving. It makes no sense to attack, argue, or turn it into a big issue, because again, understand the time you in and understand basic decency. It's not really worth it. Don't pursue the matter.
There's also the guys when you're on the street and they just shoot they shot over the moon, completely out of your league. So you're looking for a way to diminish her, to put you both on the same level. So there's a lot of reasons why this harassment, catcalling, and all that happens.
I'm glad you mentioned random comments, because on social media, we see a bunch of randomness from men all the time, including with celebrities like Meek Mill.
Of course, in these type of discussions, you always, especially with women, you always get a celebrity example. And then again, it's social media. Social media is the home of random comments. It's anybody behind a device, computer screen, whatever it is, making a comment of whatever they have on their mind, or they just decide they want to be a troll that day and they put a comment in social media. And for the most part, comments aren't curated. So, once you putting out content or something on social media, you expect the comments. Expect people to say stuff. Listen, I won't be surprised if people come out roasting me or whatever. Hey, in the Caribbean, in places like, Trinidad, Guyana, wherever, you gotta expect, to get roasted, to get hot up. You gotta deal with it. But hey, what you gonna do?
Who stepped on Twitter to say he ain't want to see no more lace fronts. Bruh, wasn't you just with the lace front queen not too long ago? And then like a week after that, he was seen with a woman wearing a lace front.
Bad example, because he could be with somebody who has a lace front. That doesn't mean he liked it. And that's what he decided to do. He went to social media and said, hey, I don't really like this whole lace front situation. But then again, you said he was with somebody who had a lace front after. He probably accepted that, hey, I can't change these women. I can't change what they do. And, me voicing my concerns is probably the only thing I could do, which is something you're going to see a lot on social media. And that's that. Not necessarily him being a hypocrite. That's just life.
Peter Thomas. Oh, Peter, get him a peach, because he loves talking about women's now. He went on Instagram and said that he didn't like to see dark-skinned women with blonde hair. Yeah. Mind you, he is a dark-skinned man with white beard. Like, I'm just like, okay, bro, did we ask you?
Another ridiculous example. Again, that's his hair. He's not wearing a wig, a weave, a lace front, braids, none of that. That's his beard. He looks over 50. I'm not familiar with him, but hey, that's something that's, even if it's not natural, it's believably natural. So I could look at it and say, hey, I could imagine an old guy with a white beard. I can't imagine some of these women with the whole blonde do. It's ridiculous. And I'm sure a lot of fellas gonna agree with me on that. For me personally, I see a woman with blonde hair who ain't supposed to have blonde hair, and I'm thinking, she alright, she probably a little crazy. But hey, that's just my personal opinion. Let's continue this video.
A$AP Rocky said he didn't think dark-skinned women needed to wear red lipstick. Well, here's the thing, guys.
Alright, before she said what she gotta say, that's true. A$AP Rocky comment was out there. It's out of pocket. But again, this is a cheeky tactic they just used there. And if you weren't paying attention, you would have missed it. They gave two false or weak examples, and then followed it up with a valid example of poor, an unsolicited comment in poor taste, right? And then because of recency bias, as you watching the video, you can remember, oh yeah, the A$AP Rocky comment was terrible. And then you're going to think, oh, you see, these men are always making terrible comments. When out of the three examples they gave, only one was valid. So you got to watch out for that, especially in discussions with women, because that tends to happen when you're being gaslighted. They're going to throw you two softballs and then hit you with a fast one.
We don't give a fuck what you want. Stop talking to us. Studies say that.
Whoa. You see right there. She just said, she don't give a damn. Well, she didn't say damn, but you know what she said. What you say or what you think. Stop talking to us. And fellas, I agree. Take her advice. Stop talking to them. No free attention. Listen, if she ain't nobody to you, don't say anything. Look at her. Maybe smile if you want to. And keep it pushing. Don't tell she none. She ain't gotta hear from you. Because you say something, she don't like it, you got a problem. You might catch a case even. So just ignore the situation and keep it going.
These comments on social media are more likely to hurt your self-esteem. And we all know those keyboard killers. It's real easy to get on the net and talk about people, but you wouldn't say it to their face.
But hey, here you are talking about comments that have been made to your face. So clearly, they are saying some of these things to your face. But yeah, I mean, social media, people have the veil of anonymity. So they're going to be saying stuff that they might not say in person.
We took to Madame Noire's Twitter and asked, has a man ever given his unsolicited opinion about your looks? @BVic tweeted, I always get the, you don't need all that makeup BS. And I'm like, what I really don't need is you. Exactly. @Candy Dreams tweeted, me, fixing a Starbucks coffee, male. You gotta watch how much sugar you use. You just right, you're perfect. But too much sugar will make you get too fat. Nigga, what?
Ironic who's responding to that comment and who responded, most adversely to it. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be putting too much sugar in your coffee, Shamika. But hey, it's too late for that.
It's ridiculous. I remember one time I was at a party and my phone was sitting on my lap and a guy was like, hey, you need to move your phone. And I said, why? He said, because it can affect your reproductive organs. I was like, what?
He was watching your womb.
Thank you. Right, womb watching. But it's like, again, like, what are you like, what?
Why?
I just feel like, are these just their way to get in? Like, they're just like, look at this wise statement I'm about to make. Your reproductive organs. Was he just trying to flex that he knew that term?
No, he wasn't. He was just making a comment. And there we have another example of a ridiculous comment being used to buttress the argument. It's, again, that's a way out there comment. Those are not the type of unsolicited comments you're going to be getting on a regular basis. The ones that you get on a regular basis are the ones they described much earlier in the video, where they're talking about, appearance comments, hair, nails, stuff like that. Those are the common unsolicited ones. But something like that, come on, that's outrageous. You take it for what it is and you keep it going. Her even suggesting that the guy trying to do that has some sort of knowledge flex is absurd.
I don't know, but it was very weird. And it was just like, thanks.
@Ms. Valentine 84 tweeted, yes, a man I've never interacted with came to my job and started telling me that he thinks my hair looks better straight. I'm like, I didn't ask. I mean, weird. They love commenting on it.
How do you guys differentiate like the comments you make towards random people versus comments made within a relationship?
All right, this is an important delineation. I hope they do it justice because, yes, it's totally different when it comes from somebody that shouldn't mean anything or anything much to you, and then somebody who should mean a lot to you and their opinion should matter. That's your partner, your significant other. So let's see what they have to say about it.
I used to hear it and then immediately apply it and would change. But I was on a date with a guy last year. I remember we were on the train coming from the movies and he looked at me. He was like, well, do you have lashes on? And I was like, no. He's like, well, good, because I don't like those lashes. At least you're a real person. And it was just like this whole thing. And then he's talking about how he didn't like nails. And I was like, well, I like having my, And it's just like men still, like it's the same thing. And I think within relationships, we'll probably adjust and make those changes because we're like, oh, we're in a relationship. But it's the same thing. I didn't ask you if you like lashes or not. Do I like lashes? Yes.
I catching a little narcissistic vibe there. But hey, I don't know her, so that's only an assumption. But hey, what we can say for certain though is that's a perfect snapshot of how women are in 2020. It's like that's your boyfriend. I guess to her that's what she says. That's her boyfriend or somebody she went out on a date with. And the guy said, hey, I don't like these things. That's just him saying, what he likes and what he doesn't like. It's up to her if she wants to accept it or not. And it's up to him to tolerate it or not. It's better he says it and it's known than he not say it and then, it leads to some sort of problems later down the line. That's one thing you hear these women complaining about all the time. You're not communicating enough. So as far as I'm concerned, it's fair for him to make his preferences known. And if that's creates an untenable situation, you break it up.
Yeah. I try to be a little adjustable because I like when my boyfriend has a beard. And so I have to realize if I'm like, keep the beard, when he makes little suggestions, I like to take them with a grain of salt. Or I'll be like, okay, I know you like that dress, or I know you like this. Yeah. I'm gonna put this wig on for our date. Like, I'll change it up a little bit, but I do take it more into consideration than these random people.
Yeah,
That's a pretty reasonable response right there.
absolutely taking into consideration because he's like, oh, I like you with that hair. I'm like, fine, I'll get the short wig this time, but I won't have it forever.
So that was great hearing from social media.
See what she did there? She had to say, hey, you know what? I listen to him, but sometimes, but not always. You know, I'm a little bit independent. His opinion doesn't matter. You see, she said it earlier, you know. She don't give a damn what you think. And, you know, you seen a little manifestation of that rebellious, I don't need no man spirit. I could be looking too deep into the situation, but hey, let's continue.
Yeah, but as always, we took to our MadameNoire.com audience to find out what you think about men volunteering compliments that we didn't ask them to give. We asked, do you comment on men's bodies, with 82% of our audience saying yes and 18% saying no. I'm not commenting on no random guy's body. Okay.
You say that, but 82% of the women said they do. And the fact of the matter is, while 82% of them admitted to saying it, we know it's probably like 99.9%. Because just like men give unsolicited comments, women give unsolicited comments all the time. Talking about you're too skinny, you're too fat, making jokes about your belly hard, your hairline. Hairline jokes, very common. Your lineup, your beard, that's another common one. And men just take it on the chin and keep it moving. I don't see men making videos about unsolicited comments from women. And we know we get them. But hey, men and women are different in some ways, no?
Random guy.
In the group chat. Like, you can send it to the girls and make that comment there.
But not on the streets.
No, I'm not going, hello, sir. Right. That is a nice tie. Right. No.
Well, that's facts. In social situations, publicly, especially, men tend to be more aggressive. They're going to say certain things and ask questions later. As far as I'm concerned, that's a masculine spirit. You know, once you do it in proper order and, you know, you're not out of pocket. But there you have it again. You see the women saying, hey, they just do the little talking in the group chat. So they making those comments in the private conversations at least.
I have told a man he looks handsome or you look nice today. I've said that to like, not random guys on the street, but I've said that to like colleagues or something.
If I trust you.
Yes.
Because then you know my intention.
We asked, has a comment made by a man that you were not in a relationship with ever hurt your feelings? With 66% of you saying yes and 34% saying no.
Yeah, that's fair. Comments can hurt. Words have meaning and words can do people harm despite the common saying. But at the same time, listen, once you exist, there's going to be hate, there's going to be words, things said to you and about you that you don't necessarily like. You got to develop a certain level of mental toughness to deal with it, especially when it's random people whose opinions shouldn't matter that much to you.
Yep. Yes. Absolutely.
No, it doesn't really bother me. It bothers me when it gets violent. Oh, no. One time.
Hey, if I had $1 for every time women do something like this, they're like, no, maybe, yeah. Come on. We know it. Listen, it happens to everybody. This is a universal problem. Obviously to varying degrees, but you know, sometimes somebody will say something that might be hurtful. It might just barely be hurtful, but it's still hurtful.
I did walk by and this guy tried to give me, and I was like, no. And he did say I had a flat ass, and I was like, God, I do. That's one of my biggest insecurities.
Well, damn, there's a big genetic L. Or you could be a little bit on the chubby side, or you know, I can't even call it a tick. Or you could be a little fat and your ass flat. That's tough, man. That's tough. Gotta hit that squat rack, sis. Then again, I don't know when last you've been in the gym, but hey, let's keep it going.
And I was like, ah!
We asked, Have you ever talked to your male relatives about their comments on women's bodies, with 35% saying yes and 65% saying no? I definitely try to call them out, especially when my friends and cousins, they be having round bellies and they be sitting there like, oh, I need her to be chiseled. I need to be able to put my hand around her waist just by cupping it like this. And I'll be like, but can nobody even hug you, bruh?
All right, she being hyperbolic here just to drive her point across. But yeah, fellas, listen, if you in a bad physical condition, right, you got the whole pot belly, you're looking kind of sloppy, no sort of definition, you know, you walk up the stairs and you're huffing a little too hard, you can't be making certain demands and certain comments. That ain't really fair. You gotta have leverage or power, or at least be living the example to be making certain demands and comments and that kind of thing. If you want those, you know, demands and comments to be respected, that is. So yeah, she's making a fair point here, but being a bit facetious and hyperbolic with it. But anyways, let's continue.
Your stomach is so big, I could bounce off it. So I'm just, so all that to say, I try to say something, but they ain't trying to hear it.
No, they're not. But I think, as you know, we have men in our circles, like, we have a duty to say something. Like, I can't save, you know, women from every random man on the street, but can I talk to men in my circle if they say something crazy in my presence? Yes, I have, and I will continue.
We will call you out. Yeah. And, you know, we can woman-splain all day about this, but we had to look to the male thought expert, GQ magazine, for their thoughts about it.
All right, so before she goes to the GQ magazine example, right, here's what's really interesting. And this is where I think they might be overreaching. If the comment is made about someone outside their presence, especially in a private discussion or, you know, just a discussion among people. So let's say a lady walks by and then the group of guys is saying something about the lady that just walked by. They're not talking to her, but they are talking about her. It definitely isn't your place to tell those guys, hey, you shouldn't be saying that. That's their discussion. They choose to talk about it. And what they might be saying might not be nice, but that's them. That's on their discussion. It's not fair, or it's not, you shouldn't be policing the discussion like that to begin with. You're not the mother, you're not the father. Let them have their discussion.
They had an article called How to Compliment a Woman Without Making It Weird. First of all, when you compliment a woman, don't make it about you. Like, I think you should not have blonde hair. No, if you're complimenting someone.
All right, freeze right there. Come on. Him saying, I think you shouldn't have blonde hair, is him saying, this is my opinion, right? And that's likely to actually soften what he's trying to say. He's not making it about himself, right? Now, if he says, I don't like your blonde hair, and he's nobody to you, then in that case, yeah. But that wasn't necessarily the best example. But anyways, let's continue.
Actually genuinely look to them and say like, oh, what do I think is great and lovely about this person, regardless of how you feel about how they should or should not look. Also, if you can, leave specific body parts out of it. Please. You can literally give a general, you look great today. You look lovely. You're beautiful. Yeah. You're pretty. Please. And for the last point,
hey, yeah, that's true. Put in specific body parts again, especially in current time. You say something about a specific part, she don't like what you said, she don't like you, there's gonna be problems. So again, just don't say nothing. Leave them alone. You see it, if it look nice, say it look nice in your head. Don't say it out loud. If it look horrible, just smile inside your head and keep it pushing. Ignore them. Ignore it.
You actually don't need to say anything. I know, wild, right?
Every man has some woman that they care about that they are not sleeping with. So think of your mother, your friends, your cousins, your sister, and how they have to like walk through this earth. And men say all kind of crazy stuff to them. You know what your boys say to women. Like, you've been there. Even think of what you've maybe said to a woman. And the fact too that like, for men, like when you're watching this and you think maybe we're overreacting, think about the fact that you have never had to get up and spend any moment of your life worrying or feeling unsafe about a comment that's being said to you about your body, you know, or just about you as a man. All
right. That's just basic gender differences. I guess stuff like this is going to come up often in these type of discussions. But again, being a man, being a male, something like this happens to you, it's not a big deal. It's okay. She said whatever. You know, women sometimes do make some really aggressive comments. Oh, you stupid, or something like that, or I hate you, or I would hit you. they also threaten violence. That has happened. But yeah, as a male, you just don't see them as a threat. And from the female perspective, I could understand, you might not feel safe when a man does or says certain things around you. But that just comes with the territory of being a woman. So provided they don't actually do something about it, that's just something that you're gonna kind of have to deal with, because the world ain't perfect, and guys there's bad guys out there. They might say something and you may feel threatened. I don't think men could actually control how you feel about something, but they could behave in a manner that's non-threatening. But at the same time, you got to be fair with it. And what I see in a lot of these cases, women are not fair. They take all these kind of crazy stuff like you say microaggressions, and then take it as something that's threatening, belittling. Take small situations and then blow it way out of proportion. So a thin line, the lines are getting blurred and moved every day. So very difficult situation.
So I would challenge you that if none of this makes you think about it, and we're laughing and it's funny, but take a moment to think about these women in your life and what we have to carry and go through, because it can go from like a joke to something crazy or violent or unsafe very quickly.
In conclusion, men, stay out of women's business.
She was waiting to say that, and I think that's how she really feels. I think she really feels like that. But hey, you see, that's the thing. They saying men stay out of women's business. Similarly, again, and you notice she said it earlier. I believe Miss Africa said it earlier. The guys were making a comment about somebody else, and she policed what they were saying. She tried to police their conversation. But then here we have another panelist saying men stay out of women's business. By that token, women should be staying out of men's business, shouldn't be policing what happens in their private conversations. But again, double standards are everywhere in current time. But what we going to do? Let me just close out this video and see what's up. So let me know what you think about this video. If you want to hear more content from me, be sure to subscribe, like, dislike, roast me, or say something productive in the comments. This is the Unspecialist signing out. Peace.